Hi, welcome back to my channel. Kaiwaza with you, and we are looking at my Hawaiian record collection today, specifically budget Hawaiian records, our second in this pardon me, section on budget label Hawaiian records. So I'm going to present to you a set of recordings. The last video we looked at, the whole series I basically call the Leilani recordings, although I really have no idea who they are, but four separate groups of studio musicians doing four separate sets of recordings. And we just looked at the first one, which I just sort of call Harry Kaapuni, but I have no idea who it really is. Today we look at the second one. And I don't really associate a name with these recordings, because this set of recordings actually, my first early exposure to it, my grandfather had this record and it listed no artist. So in my mind, and the first copy of it that I had in my collection also had no artist listed. So I kind of think of it as the no-name Hawaiian band, because we really have no idea who it is. But of course, like all budget labels, it was issued and reissued under 100 different names, 100 different artists, 100, but my first exposure, they had no name. So I'll show you the first record of it that I had. And I will say also begin by saying it's instrumental. There are a total of 14 tracks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Yeah, 14 tracks. No record has all 14. Just like the last one. Most of them have 12, some have less, none has all 14. Okay, but there are 14 tracks from this group. Instrumental group. My first exposure was my grandfather's record. Beautiful cover, really love this cover, and I really love the font, the typeset. The Enchanting Music of Hawaii. This is on Sutton, really a budget label. And again, you'll hear samples of this in the background, just songs from this group of recordings. And there is no artist. Now what happened was my grandfather, I figured out at a very young age what budget label records were, but I don't think my grandfather ever quite figured it out. Because he bought this record and was really disgusted with it, and was kind of angry, and he gave it to me saying, because he would give me records anyway, and he gave it to me saying, this is supposed to be something different, but I have all these songs already, because it was this record, but in a different release called Lure of Hawaii. So I had this one kind of growing up as a little kid, but it's the same recording. On the back of it, there's that record, which I coveted and eventually did find for myself. Yeehaw. I should block it. Yeah. Now here it is. This is a great cover. It's a great cover. Hawaiian Holiday, Jimmy Uke and his Islanders. Same set of recordings. But this one has two songs that are less frequently seen, which is a version of Mood of Manakora and a version of Song of the Islands. That shows up on some of these, but not very many of them. A little more rare tracks by whoever this artist is. This is Hurrah Records. And I love the budget. I just love the budget labels. I will get any Hawaiian record. I'm just going to show these to you because there's a million of this. And like I said, 14 tracks. No record has all of them, but they all have some of them. Holiday in Hawaii, the Hawaiians on ever popular Crown Records. Willie Alunuai and his band, Hawaiian Holiday, another great cover. There's a funny song on here, sometimes called Hawaiian Holiday, where there's some guy kind of making noises, unga unga wa, whatever, and he kind of says Hawaii Holiday, and it's mumbo jumbo, but it's really rather funny, that song. Here's a Mexican release of this album. They have budget labels there too, I guess. Here's a gatefold version of it. I don't know why they did a gatefold because there's nothing on the inside of it really, but it's a mysterious picture with like whatever these are, plants, and like her face, sort of very interesting. Very dark really, but then yeah, like why did they bother making it a gatefold? Like, I mean, that's it. It's just so weird. And then, oh yeah, that's the first page. So 2 pages. Like, why bother? You ought to love the name of this group. Pete Kilanee, or Kilanee, I don't know how they expected you to pronounce that. Pete Kilanee, and then the Hawaiianers. Records. Celebrity Records, Hawaiian Paradise, Harry Kaapuni reappearing. This has some great clip art on the back. Same clip art. You might ask, is there a favorite song I have from this set? I kind of have 2. I like what's typically called Hawaiian Starlight. It's kind of a surf-ish. I'm not that much into surf music, but I kind of like that one. And the song Luau, that's usually, not always, but usually called Luau Lei. I really like that song also. And Hawaiian love song. Oh, here's a record. This is interesting now. I was record shopping in San Francisco maybe like 10, 15 years ago or longer, I don't know. I was in a record store in Haight-Ashbury and came across a record that just took my breath away because, has this ever happened to you? I had totally forgotten I had this record as a child. I loved this record as a child. I must have broken it or sat on it or something. I don't know, but I completely forgot. And then there it was, and the minute I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot I ever had this record, and of course I had to get it. It's just, you know, it's more of this no-name Hawaiian band, but the Waikiki Surfriders on Design Records. Just love when you find something like that. More of this ukulele playing lady, I love her. Hawaiian Interlude, same set of no-name records. Here she is again. They just add a little color background. Yeah. Here's a version, supposedly, well here's 2 versions by, on the same International Award Series, I guess they would even just reissue it the next year with a different cover on it. Leni, Okehu, and the Surfboard Riders. This one has the Makara and Song of the Islands on it, which is a little lesser known. There's Splendor of Hawaii, Terry McKee and his band on Diplomat. And we find the ukulele lady playing again, just her head on this one though. This Terry McKee also, yeah. And finally, the same record by Makara and his Hawaiian Orchestra. Although interestingly, they list different titles on the cover. When you open the album and play it and see it, it's actually this no-name Hawaiian band. It's not those songs. So cheap. And then we have to mention a little record here, priceless. Peter Pan Records. This is a children's record called Hawaii. Now, by the very inauthentic name of Leilani and his group. What they did was they took 4 songs from you know, this no-name Hawaiian band. They took 4 songs, and then they added their own male vocal chorus, quartet, whatever, over it. They didn't adjust it or change it. They just put the vocals over it. to Harbor Lights, Aloha Hawaiian War Chant, and Drowsy Waters, and they did their own lyrics. And this album, this little collection here, this is absolutely priceless. Absolutely priceless. And I actually really like their version of the Drowsy Waters, which they call Sandy Beaches and Coconuts. I think somebody should record it here. It could be a hit.
Sandy beaches and coconuts are found in Hawaii.
Okay, now that covers the complete issues that I have of this no-name Hawaiian band exclusively. So these are all the records I have that are only selections from the 14 recordings made by the no-name Hawaiian band. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it's not too confusing, and we will catch you on the next budget label video. Probably got 2, maybe 3 left.
Wiggy, 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 whack. Wick, 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 whack, whack, whack. Wiggy, waggy, wiggy, waggy, woo. Ugh, ugh, ooh.